recap off.
All right. Staying live here. There's Mike the Bear fan. There's the Villain Squad. NFC North main event. Detroit Lions News Podcast. All right. There we go. We are live there. Welcome one. How y'all doing out there? Doing some last second invites here. We're almost ready to go. Got some big games. This is War Week, baby. War Week.
There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me. Sit back there and say my hair ain't luxurious when you know it is, bitch.
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.
Love to eat turkey, 'cause it's good. Love to eat turkey like a good boy should, 'cause it's turkey to eat.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifeatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and main event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.
This pre-Sonus box has got a jacked up jack.
All right, let's get this thing started, folks. There we go. Good morning, Dwayne. Good morning, Fred. Good morning, Doug. Good morning, Mike Fairfax. Scotty Reno says, "Buck the fuck eyes." I'm bringing us both on, Mike, at the same time while we do this, so we can get it. So we get that little side screen right there. Yes, it is War Week. War Week. What's going on?
You said we were going to dress in college gear. You got a sweatshirt on? Look at me. I'm wearing Michigan socks.
Okay. Well, yeah. So Mike is obviously disappointed right off the gate, and I haven't even said hello to everybody. Hello to everybody. Welcome to Football Talk. Let me do this the right way. Welcome to Football Talk with Russell Wayne, as I am an Ohio State fan right here, wearing my Ohio State gear that just came in the mail the other day that Mike will be wearing as of our show on Monday right here. We are broadcasting live into Detroit Lions news. We are broadcasting live into Detroit Lions Villain Squad. And we are broadcasting live into NFC North main event. And now I'll welcome my co-host. What's going on, Mike? Honestly, dude, you threw me way off right there with the way that you responded right there as I brought us both onto here. I don't know if your thing was to make me feel uncomfortable right off the bat on my own show, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah. All right.
You gotta loosen up, bro. I mean, I get your team lost 2 years in a row. It's actually been 1,493 days since the Buckeyes have beaten the Wolverines, thanks to COVID.
Yeah, it's been a very, very long time, and it is a frustrating thing. I guess I should be more richer like you. I wish I had more money so I could go afford all the Buckeye stuff right here. But this is all that I could afford.
Isn't this an NFL show?
Sweatshirt, buy a sweatshirt. Yeah. Go ahead, Mike. Talk about it.
Well, a Buckeye and a Wolverine have a podcast, so at least 1 week of the year, things are not going to go well, folks. Okay. This is War Week in every sense of the term. Michigan, Ohio State ranked number 2 and number 3 in the country. You've got the Packers coming to Ford Field tomorrow to play the Lions. It doesn't get more intense than this, guys. That's why there's a little friction between me and the poisonous nut here.
Yeah. All the friction is I'll just sit back and enjoy my little spot in the back right here. You own the rivalry. And tell them what the bet is so we can move off of this and get into the Lions game.
Okay. It's Michigan, Ohio State straight up. The winner, the loser has to wear the gear on Monday morning during this show and face the wrath of ridicule. A lot of Buckeye fans on our follow list, a lot of Wolverine fans on our follow list. Put it in the comments what you think, and we won't talk about college football anymore.
All right, let's talk about this game tomorrow, man. Here we are.
Where are we broadcasting, though? Where are we going into today? Is it different?
No, it's not. We already said that. So let's move on to the football game right there. There we go. Let me get this thing up. I'm sorry, Mike. You threw me off of my game right here, right at the beginning here. I'm trying to find my stuff. There we go. It's War Week. There, I got all 3 games in there. Please take over for a minute so I can recover.
You got the Bears and the Vikings. And the Vikings coming off a tough loss. Bears coming off an even tougher loss. That's going to be a huge game for Minnesota. Going to be huge for them. They got to beat the Bears, and the Bears look really good against the Lions. So that's going to be a very, very interesting game. All our Bear fans and Viking fans out there, put it in the comments. Tell us what you like. And of course, the Detroit Lions, the Turkey Day Classic, the Green Bay Packers, the arch rivals coming in. The referees, that is, the referees are our arch rivals. And then the Green Bay Packers are playing also in Ford Field. Lions are a 7.5-point favorite.
Did that change yet?
No, I checked it this morning. 7.5 points still.
Man, I would think that it would get, because I was listening to the POD podcast, and and they had the Packers guy, whoever covers the Packers over there, talking about it, and they have a lot of injuries. It doesn't look like there's going to be an Aaron Jones. It doesn't look like Dontavian Wicks is going to play, or Luke Musgrave, their second round drafted tight end that's actually been playing well. So there's a lot. They're behind the 8 ball. Do you know anything about the Jair Alexander?
I know that he's listed as questionable on the injury report.
So
and the injury report for Green Bay is twice as big as it is for Detroit.
Yeah, and that's where the depth comes in, and this is something that we talked about earlier in the season, was like this depth is going to play a role, because the Lions did win a couple of games without some of their better players. You know, David Montgomery was out for a couple of games. Jahmyr Gibbs was out for a couple of games. I think even Amon-Ra St. Brown, I don't know if he missed a game. I think he might have missed one game that they won without him. So you find ways to win without your best guys, and these guys heal. They come in, and now the team looks pretty strong going into this Thanksgiving game. So, but the Green Bay Packers have had a laundry list of injuries. Aaron Jones really hasn't been healthy at all this year. Even when he's been playing, he's been kind of limited in that. So I don't know. I mean, that's a young team over there in Green Bay, but I mean, it's poised. I think the Lions should cover this spread and win going away at home.
The report is official now. Sprained MCL for Aaron Jones. With only a 4-day turnaround, playing on a Thursday, they're not going to play him on Thanksgiving. But definitely a sprained MCL, something he will be back. So it's going to be up to AJ Dillon. They also signed Robinson. James Robinson also is back, who's been around a lot. And they assigned Patrick Taylor off the practice squad, some other team. So they are thin at running back, and they're young all the way around. This team is young. They're going to be running into a buzzsaw. But you know what? It's a Thanksgiving game. It is a division rivalry. And the fact that the Packers are a young team, they can do the quick turnaround better than these old guys. Lions a young team also, but still, I don't think it's going to be I don't think that's going to be a factor for the Packers as much as the injuries.
Yeah, you have to have your guy. You know, the main guys are eventually it kills you. Let's see what we got into the comments. You got a lot. Obviously, we're in Michigan here, so we're gonna have a lot of love for these Michigan Wolverines. I want to say good morning to Dwayne, since I didn't get a good chance to say good morning to everybody. Fred, good morning to Nug right there. I think I already said that right there. I'm getting back in there. Good morning, Ken. Have I ever seen 50 Shades of Walking? I don't know if I have seen that. I don't know what that is by saying 50 Shades of Walking. Maybe you could put a link into the comments for 50 Shades of Walking.
I mean, I could guess. I could guess what it is, but go ahead.
Probably his 50 best walking takes.
Folks, Russell only watches football and wrestling.
Acknowledge me.
So Brent says, iffy. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, main event, Mike and Russ. Good morning to you, Brent.
Morning, Brent.
Thank you. Brent says, Ohio Dip State. Brent says, it's a joke. Hey, whether it's a joke, it's really funny that, I get flustered. I wasn't flustered because of the joke. I was flustered because I was trying to find all my producer stuff, and I was ready to do the morning ritual that I do and go through all the stuff. And Mike jumped in and threw me off my game at the beginning. So I'm like, I don't know where I'm at right now. Did I even tell you where I was broadcasting? But I thought I did. Did I tell everybody where we're broadcasting? I know I didn't.
I don't recall you did. That's the part of your game I threw you off of.
Yes.
That was, okay. You were just about to do that, and then I threw you a wrench in your machine.
Right, okay.
I was
So-
keeping track, and I was trying to get you back on. You're like, I already did it. And I'm like, okay.
I swear that I did, but I didn't bring up the graphics for it. So we are broadcasting live into the Hallis Hall report, and they can't see that, Mike.
I know. I'm waiting for you to put the camera on me.
There you go. You got the Kool-Aid?
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
You drinking the Kool-Aid. We are live in the...
I throw you off again?
You're on a mission. You're like, hey, go ahead and promote all the stuff. And then you're like holding the damn thing in front of the camera that nobody can freaking see.
Except you.
Nobody can see it. And then I'm like, well, you got to take the camera off. Do you want me to promote where we're going? Or you're so funny. Anyway, Detroit Lions Villain Squad, Detroit Lions news. And this right here is football talk with me, Russell Wayne, and my co-host, Main Event Mike.
This is exactly what the Wolverines are going to do to the Buckeyes. Going to throw them off their game, get them frustrated. See how easy they get frustrated? It must be frustrating to be a food that you can't eat.
But you know, Mike, I am going to your next gig. And then while you're singing a song, I'm going to walk up there and I'm just going to start going a whole bunch of gibberish and see if you can still do the song. Because I know that I can't do that with somebody yapping in my face, changing the subject. Good morning, Brent. Go Blue. We got a lot of Go Blue in here.
Go Blue, Nichelle.
All right, here's a good rip right here. Scotty Reno says the stickers of Ohio State helmets look like puckered buttholes. You like it? Hey, that's good stuff. You know, it's a rivalry. It's a rivalry game. I might have to wear that ugly Michigan stuff on Monday. As a matter of fact, I probably will, because if they get as frustrated as I do, I'm going to lose by 3 touchdowns in the big house. Depends on if will JJ be back?
Justin Jefferson.
That's Justin Jefferson. Okay, I'm in the middle of another conversation. Let's talk about that game. Chicago a little bit. Chicago versus the Minnesota Vikings, right? Is the Minnesota Vikings for real? Are the Bears for real? Was it really the Lions just crapping the bed, or is the defense of the Chicago Bears getting a little bit better? And maybe Dobbs has something to worry about. Or is this just going to be a truck sticking by the Minnesota Vikings as they expose the Bears? What do you think, Mike?
I think the Bears are playing good. I think this is a Monday Night Football game at US Bank Stadium also. So it's going to be very, very, very good game. I mean, Josh Dobbs against the Bears, they practice against a quarterback similar to him. Right, against Justin Fields. They know these things. I think that Montez Sweat is making an impact on that defensive line. And, Josh Dobbs, I haven't been able to see this guy play a whole game. It's hard for me to comment on this guy. He's the unknown for me. But Minnesota's been overachieving. I like the Bears on this one. I'm sorry. I think the Bears are going to stop. I mean, that was a nice story that Josh Dobbs got signed, and 5 minutes later, he won a game. That was awesome. Then he won another game. Then they lost to Denver. Okay.
Right.
I know the Denver's on a streak, but Denver's also the team that got 70 hung on them this year. So very, very, very interesting year in 2023. I think everyone would agree. This has been one of the most intriguing, topsy-turvy years we've ever seen. Hell, the Detroit Lions are 8-2.
Yeah. And you look at that, and this is irony, because last year the Vikings won all of these close games, and this year they're losing all the close games. And that's the parity of the NFL, though. Most of these games are going to be close. I mean, you want to make fun of teams for, winning close games against teams they should beat. That's fine. You're entitled to that. But the bottom line is, 80% of the games that are played are one-score games. That's the NFL. That's the parity of the NFL. Even if the team's really, really good or really, really bad, right? Oh, they always play down to their teams. Oh, they always play up to the teams. But the bottom line is 80% of the game. I don't even know if that's a real stat right there. I'm just spitballing here. But most of the games, when I'm looking across the ticker, on Sunday are closely contested games, usually into the fourth quarter, even when teams start pulling away. So don't make no mistake.
I think that number you pulled out, 8 out of 10, is within one score. I think you can look at the box score from last week, and it'd be really close. Maybe 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 were within one score. Right.
Yeah, and I'm pretty good with those numbers. It's like, don't listen to me about any emotional game. If you know that I'm emotional about the game, don't listen to my betting. But if you listen to my picks that have no emotion and I'm just looking at the games for what they are, you can follow what I'll tell you to bet on. Because I don't bet. I don't give a shit about all that stuff. I just think it's fun, and I do good at it. Will JJ be back for the Vikings on Monday night? I mean, that was a big talk. I mean, that he might have even played this last week. I mean, I wouldn't see any reason why he wouldn't come back, at least in some kind of limited capacity, if he was almost ready to go last week. What do you think about that, Mike?
Well, it's a hamstring, right? So
yeah,
that's soft tissue injury. They're unpredictable. Only he and the doctor and the trainers know the severity of the injury. They keep that very close to the vest, right? And they're not going to tell us. By all accounts, I do not think he will play. It's a short week. They'll let him sit out. This one.
Right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, I love JJ, and JJ's like one of the best wide receivers in the league. But right now, they had a pretty good thing going with what they had. And I'm not saying that bring JJ back if he's ready. Okay. I mean, he's the best wide receiver in football, but if he's even a little bit injured, what you got working right now with TJ Hawkinson and Addison and what the magic of Dobbs, I mean, you can ride that out for another week, make sure that your stud wide receiver is completely healthy. I mean, I can understand that logic. What up, homies? Singles Dad Club's in the house right there. Let's see what else we have. Were you looking at some of these comments in here, or
no? I'm trying to think, I'm trying to figure out what the game plan is for Green Bay. If you're a Green Bay fan, please whack-a-mole, pop up for a minute, and I promise not to whack you. Just put it in the comment. Tell me, what is the game plan without Aaron Jones? Run the ball. That's probably not the game plan now. You got no one back there. A.J. Dillon's at RB2, and everyone knows it. I think even A.J. Dillon knows it. Christian Watson has been a no-show this year. Hurt, not playing well, dropping passes when he is in, not looking good for him. Dontavian Wicks was the highest receiver that they had last week. He led the team in receptions last week with 91 yards. He's out this week. You've got Jaden Reed, a rookie, slot receiver. That's what you got. Luke Musgrave is hurt. What do you got? If the Detroit defense just comes out and plays half of what they're capable of, Green Bay won't score 10 points. If they come out swarming like they did in Lambeau, come out swarming like they did against Atlanta and the Raiders smothered them, then this game will be over at halftime.
And the thing is like, I know that there's, that puncher's chance, right? That the Green Bay fan would think that they have
this division game too.
And it's a division game, but you guys got to remember that the puncher's chance just happened with the Chicago Bears. Do you think that Dan Campbell's beating his chest in a locker room talking about how they dominated the Chicago Bears this week? No, he's in there lighting a fire underneath their ass to be like, look, that's what can happen. That's what can happen if you don't play disciplined football. Are you going to let the Green Bay Packers come in here and do that shit to you? Like, he could treat last week's game was so bad on the offensive side of the ball that Dan Campbell could treat it like a loss in that locker room. Like, they could go in there like a loss, like y'all was treating it like all week long. Like, we should be ashamed of ourselves. You don't think that Dan Campbell, the motivator, we're going to
bite a kneecap off,
is going to use that in the locker room with Aiden Hutchinson and those guys that carried the team last week? The week before that, they couldn't get a stop. The offense carried them. Well, this week, Chicago possessed the ball for 40 minutes, and the defense came through. The defense came through.
And on the short week, a lot of walkthrough practice, right? A lot of downtime, a lot of time for the coach to address the team about things just like that, Russ. I mean, obviously, like you said, they are not basking in the glow of that win because they know they almost lost to a lower tier team.
And they shouldn't, but that proves that point. It's almost like you can teach the lesson of a loss in a win. And that's something that a Lion fan isn't really used to playing a really, really bad game and then talking about a win. But I mean, they came back from a 4-turnover deficit. I mean, that blows my mind, the intestinal fortitude that had to be playing that crappy and to be able to turn it around and actually win that game is a turning point in the season for the Lions, I believe. I think it's only going to get crazier from this point on. I mean, I'm going to go back right here. See if you guys remember this. That one play that Jamison Williams scored that touchdown on, they had Amon-Ra St. Brown in the slot right next to him. And then they had the 2 safeties and then the cornerback on that side. This is a trick box, guys, with Jamison Williams' speed. It was either going to be a completion to Amon-Ra St. Brown or a touchdown. They chose to double Amon-Ra St. Brown, and it's over. If you're San Francisco, it's over. If it's Philadelphia Eagles, it's over. That speed is not coverable. You make your decision, you pick your poison, and you're going to you get one or the other. Amon-Ra St. Brown can catch contested catches one-on-one all day long, and nobody can stop him. Hasn't been stopped all year.
Especially with his connection to Goff. That's such a great call out right there, Russ. Pick your poison. You're 3-on-2. You got the numbers. What are you going to do? If Amon-Ra runs the button hook and stops him and Goff, their timing is so right on. We saw it in the offseason, throwing them with their eyes closed, right? Because of the work that Amon-Ra puts in to be that good. He outworks everyone on the field, and he's going to outwork you one-on-one.
Man, now I have to call these out right here. And Ken, I really do appreciate the comments in here. Their offense isn't the issue. The offense isn't the issue. The offense turned the ball over 3 times. The offense last week, here's the problem with where, like, we have this last week syndrome thing in Detroit. A lot of fans, like, right now, Ryan is crucifying them because of what happened in that Chargers game. And he's not realizing that in this last game where Chicago possessed the ball for 2/3 of the game, and the offense still outgained Chicago, is a testament to how good the defense played. I mean, minus that scripted drive right at the beginning of the game, what did they really do that we didn't give to them? That Brian Branch didn't give to them on a 3rd and 13 where he gives them a new set of downs with a mistake. Like, so that those are the things they got to clean up. Those are the things they got to clean up.
Didn't they get 3 field goals also? I mean, so,
yep.
I mean, you didn't score a touchdown. If you scored touchdowns on those drives, the game's over.
See here, Ryan says their D has been bad all year. They held Tampa Bay to 3 points, right? I mean, I'm trying to help.
It was 20-6.
Let's go back through these. You can't say that their Lions defense has been bad all year. For one, they're in the top 10 in a lot of statistical categories.
Yeah, but no pass rush is what we're talking about, man. I mean, there's been games where there's no pass rush.
But to say their defense has been bad all year, is that fair?
I don't think that's fair. You know, I like Ed Joel's comment. Did you see that one up there?
They held the Raiders to 14. They held we got 6 points. I'm going through here, all of these, right? Yeah, they got it put on them by the Ravens. They got put it on by the Justin Herbert. Held the Buccaneers to 6, Panthers 24. They held the Packers 20, which they really shouldn't got that late touchdown. They were getting stomped out in that game. They held the Falcons to 6. They held the Chiefs to 20. I mean, this is not a bad defense. It's not San Francisco defense, but this team is right in the middle. You're talking 10 to 15 all day on defense. And when your offense is that good, that's a Super Bowl recipe. I mean, when is the Kansas City Chiefs? They've won Super Bowls. They don't have some kind of all-star defense. They have a defense that just seems to like pour it on in the playoffs. They play shitty all year, and then they get into the playoffs, and all of a sudden it's, lights out. Chris Jones turns into Superman, and then they win, right? Jason MC with a skull. There we go. We got some. Everybody's represented in here, but I just wanted to help out the Lions fans in there. I mean, I feel good about the team going forward. I've never sniffed 8-2. I'm just like taking it in. Mike, you had that Kool-Aid up there. Bring that Kool-Aid up there. You should be drinking this Kool-Aid. There's no reason that you shouldn't. You worried about losses we haven't had yet. Well, what are you going to do against Dallas? I don't know. We're going to go to Dallas and play a game. What if they beat Dallas?
It says just add playoffs makes one Super Bowl win.
Yeah, I mean, just enjoy it. I always try to help people out, like especially when your team is losing, like the Bears, right? If they win a game, right? You got 7 days to go out there, run through the streets of Chicago, waving your ding ding. You're allowed to do that. You got 7 days. It's hard to win in the NFL. Go do it. So, like all of this, I don't know what they're going to do in 3 weeks against blah, 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 blah. I don't care about that. They played a game on Sunday. They won that game. I thought they were going to lose the game. And so we only had 4 days this time, but we're out here right now waving our metaphorical ding dings. I think you should be able to do that. But guys like that were on our show on Monday, like Nug, which we appreciate you. I love your counter argument to this. The defense does have to be better. If they're going to win a championship, they're going to have to be better. You guys are correct. You are going to have to get a better pass rush.
Yeah. And that in turn will make the secondary better.
Right. Or you can have the offense break out even more, which I think blows my mind, but the offense is actually going to get better, that you can just outscore everybody. You can't count on that. Yeah, defense wins championship. BS.
Yeah.
BS. Look at the last 10 years and how many of these are defensive matchups.
Well, still haven't scored on the opening drive of the second half. Russ's head explodes in 3, 2, 1, boom.
I'm over it, man. That's the thing is you should get to have that opinion. If you want to be critical like that, that's fine, because I haven't. You want that offense to score on I think the offense is good to score on every single drive. They don't even need Jack Fox. They should just go for it on fourth down. That's right.
12.
We're going to buy the kneecap off.
4th and 12 from their own 17. They should go for it.
And it's like they wish in Chicago that they had a coach like Dan Campbell who would go for it on 1 4th down, because all they needed was one of those 4th down conversions and they would have been able to choke the life out of us and win.
They were 2 for 2 on 4th down in the game, and then opted not to when it mattered.
You decided to not lose instead of win. And that's and so you lose.
Kind of what we did in Seattle with Seattle.
Yep. And the same thing. The thing is when I was watching the game, I was actually thinking it was the opposite of what I experienced in Minnesota last year. Dan Campbell controlled that game, the entire game.
It was the opposite of that game.
And It was the complete opposite. He decided to kick a long field goal to go up by, enough points to let Kirk Cousins be Kirk Cousins, and they did, and they were. And you haven't seen Dan make that mistake since. Not where he has the game in hand. he has a chance to put your lights out, he's going to take it. Chargers. I'll take that 4th and 2. I'll take the ball out of Justin Herbert's hands. Thank you very much. I'll take a couple knees and there we go. Kick that field goal, win the game. Let's get the F out of here.
On Monday night, our guest Zoe is a Minnesota Vikings fan. He predicted the Vikings would win out. Okay, and looking at their schedule, they could. I mean, if Josh Dobbs, if this guy continues, I mean, this is going to be very, very interesting to see if the Minnesota Vikings can make the playoffs. Sitting at 6 wins now. Yeah, sitting at 6 wins now. And their schedule is pretty favorable. They hit Cincinnati with no Joe Burrow, right? They got to face Detroit twice. That's the toughest game on their schedule.
Games. That's like I mean, you really think they're gonna whoop us twice? Do you think that there's no freaking way they're gonna beat us twice?
But even if they don't beat us twice, if they win the rest of their games, they'd make the playoffs.
Yep, they got to beat Chicago this week. But they ain't gonna whoop us twice.
It'd be 10 wins.
I can say that now because last week they were saying, "What are you guys gonna do? Here comes Minnesota." Yeah, what happened? Oh, they got beat by Denver. And this week they're like, yeah, we're gonna win out. So I was like, yeah, we're gonna win out. Okay, and they might lose to Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears. Come on, bear down, Mike. Come on, bear down, Mike. We need Eberfluk to go in there. Oh my God, that'd be crazy. That they should beat the Bears. Okay, it's the same. They're in the exact same scenario that we were last week. We should have blew the Bears out. If he didn't turn the ball over 4 times, I probably would have. But that's the same thing that the Vikings should do, right? Vikings should blow them out, right? So let's see. Let's see what happens if Dobbs can make it happen. But if you lose that game and go to, what would that be? 6-6?
Mm-hmm.
They'd be going to 6-6. That's going to be hard for you to make the playoffs in the NFC if you drop that game to Chicago.
Minnesota favored by 3.5 points. Vikings at home against the Bears. I'm not doing so well the last couple weeks. It seems like everything that I touch turns to crap when it comes to making a prediction. I think I still, though, my gut tells me I like the Bears after the way they played last week. Maybe it was a demoralizing, humiliating loss that they can't bounce back from. I suppose that's a possibility, but yeah, if they play as good as they played in Detroit, they'll beat Minnesota.
Yeah, I really believe what you're saying right there. We'll have to see what type of bounce back that Justin Fields can have on that, because I mean, to go out and play maybe your best game, you know, as far as being efficient, and there was a couple of things that he did that were really impressive in that game that I hadn't seen him do.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he would escape the pocket on any other time, he would take the easy 7 to 10 yard gain that would usually end with him putting his shoulder into somebody and trying to fight for yards. And you know how I was about Justin Fields last year, where I was like, dude, if he does that, he's going to be dead by week 7. But seeing him escape out the pocket, like draw the linebacker in and then be able to dump it to a playmaker, being able to run out and slide in the open field rather than be a superhero. Those are the types of things that he can do to prolong his career and makes him he's a threat. Like if he's got that play to pass and run balance down, he's going to make a lot of teams nervous if he can get that down. You like that? I don't know.
Love it. Love it.
The Bears will beat Minnesota.
Ooh.
Dobbs wasn't a starter for a reason.
There you go.
Well, I mean, the main reason is, and this happens a lot, but a lot of times a guy isn't a starter just because he hasn't been given the chance yet.
He actually
know,
was a starter in Arizona for 8 games before the Vikings got him. He was a starter. And why was he a starter? Because he beat out a veteran, Colt McCoy, in training camp, and he beat out a 6'5", cannon-armed rookie draft pick from the University of Houston named Clayton Tune, and he won the starting job. So I consider it the best move, hands down, the best move Quezzy's ever made as a GM.
Yeah. I at this point, I mean, I don't want to tout it too early because he's played like 2 games in Minnesota, and now there's 2 games of tape on the guy with Minnesota's playmakers, and the NFL's a real finicky league when it comes to playing defense. These guys actually go into the film room and they do study, and they will find the chinks in his armor. And when they do, that's where you decide whether you're going to be a good quarterback or not, because you need to overcome their ways that they stop you, because they will stop you. They stopped Mahomes. Mahomes had to figure it out.
Counter punch. Yeah, punch and counter.
And that's it. And not all quarterbacks do it. There are some quarterbacks that are just the quote unquote game managers that can't evolve, because once somebody kind of figures them out, they're just kind of what they are. But you watch some of these upper echelon quarterbacks take next steps. You know, okay, now they stop me like this. Well, they throw a counter punch, and now they're in a higher tier quarterback. I think Jared Goff has done that, because he got to a point and defenses started to stop him. McVay got rid of him. He started over, and now he's kind of figured out how the NFL has punched him, and now he is throwing a counter punch at this point. And now this is however good Goff can be, is however good Goff can be. Dobbs has not done that yet. Dobbs is going to get figured out over the next couple of weeks. We'll see how he can respond to it. I don't know. Is Josh Paschal healthy? Yes, he has been out there. He has been contributing too. Brady didn't come into the league as a starter either. Doesn't mean anything. That is very true.
Very true.
He sat behind one of the another football great in Drew Bledsoe, and it took an injury for Tom Brady to make it in. So that's what happens. That's what happens. Who knows? This could be the breaking out of Dobbs. I would not take that away from if a Minnesota fan like Sarah is out there feeling pretty good about Dobbs, feel good about Dobbs.
It's my quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, who knows how good he can be? He's winning football games. He looks like a plus player out there every time that he's out there. He's like a magician sometimes. It looks clumsy.
You say you're behind Dobbs, but have you shaved your eyebrows? I don't think so.
I ain't like that. Okay. Nah.
I mean, if you're really a fan.
Okay. I guess I'm not a diehard.
It's my quarterback.
I'm going to shave your eyebrows. So you're not a fan.
Yeah. Do you really want to see that? What was that? Yesterday I was like, what do I look like? A pastel colored, what would you say yesterday?
I don't remember.
Yeah. Pasty dude. I'm a pasty guy right there. I got this pasty white light making my head all pasted and stuff.
Playoffs.
I love that comment. Quay Walker's really a Detroit Lion on the Packers defense. He's been hurt. I don't know. He's not going to play. I don't know if he's going to play on Thanksgiving. That's something I need to research that. But yeah, the Packer fans, I was scrolling through one of the groups and somebody had put, who's your favorite Packer? And I put Quay Walker. I love to troll those Packer groups.
Oh my God, dude.
They kick me out all the time.
I got to find, where did all my thing go? I thought I had my Quay Walker one in here.
But going back to Detroit and being critical of their defense, you're right. I think somebody had a comment that said Detroit's defense has been bad all year. I think that's not an accurate statement, right?
Right.
But I think what is an accurate statement is the Detroit defense has not been consistent all year. Okay, consistently good. They are great half the time. The other time they're not so great. Baltimore, they were not great. Okay, against Chicago, they were good. I thought they were good against Chicago. I think it was more about what Chicago did rather than what the Lions didn't do, especially on that first drive. Was poetry, was art, was a beautiful drive by the Bears.
Right.
But the lack of a pass rush is a common denominator running through all of those games. We see that Aiden Hutchinson's getting double teamed a lot, but it needs to come from somewhere else. We lose James Houston. And Charles Harris has been a shell of himself. So we need these other guys who we don't pay a lot, by the way. We don't pay these guys a lot. It's not like they're, Chase Young. They're not these guys that are making all this money.
Right.
We got some great production out of them last year, and we're just kind of, as fans, expect them to pick up where they left off. But this is the NFL. That's very hard to do.
Right.
Progress, not perfection.
Coverage sacks. And I like this comment by Ed Joel here. Players need to step up. Jacobs got toasted by Moore for the TD, but again, pressure on the quarterback has a ripple effect and helps the secondary, like we're talking about right there. So
right, and that's if you want to go back into the game and say, "Wow, that play, you got burnt on that play," that's fair. But when you look at the entire body of work, for one, Justin Fields dropped back and threw a freaking dime. Okay, that was a perfectly thrown ball, and it was blocked well. Like, at some points, you got to give credit to the guy making the plays, right? This isn't like some scrub thrown to some scrub. Justin Fields throwing a great ball to a great wide receiver like DJ Moore, and they got burnt on that play. Just that, and what was that, a 60-yard bomb or something like that? Do you know how long?
40. What? 44.
40 some. Yeah. So Justin Fields threw for 167 yards. Okay. So if we want to go into the game and say, wow, you got burnt on that one play, that's fine. But he threw for $160.
$169, and he ran for 104.
Okay. So
that's on your defense too.
He's a weapon. So they had like 300 yards in total offense, right? And they possessed the ball 2/3 of the game.
Right.
That means the defense was on the field for 40 minutes. And they did give up 100 yards rushing, but what'd they do? Run 700 rush plays? I mean, they act like Khalil Herbert. He averaged like 2 yards a carry. Well, maybe like maybe
2.3, yeah, 2.2, 2.3, yep. Khalil Herbert did. Yep. Roshan Johnson averaged 5 yards a carry. He had 6 carries for 30 yards, and every time he touched the ball, he looked so good. I don't know why they don't keep giving it to him. It still stymies me. I predicted at the beginning of the season that this kid would take the starting job by midseason, and he's overdue for that prediction. I don't know why they don't give it to him.
Yeah, and when you look at that game, there was a lot of times, I think there was 4 times we took them to third down, and then it was a mental error. It was Brian Branch grabbing a guy, giving them a brand new set of downs. So to me, if your defense can get out of the way of just the mistakes, people get burnt. That happens. That happens to the San Francisco 49ers. That happens to the Cleveland Browns. Teams get burnt. But the thing is do you recover from it? Do you continue to get burnt? Do you learn from your mistake? And in this case, 3 and out, touchdown, we win, we gone. We out. We're not really worried about it. At this point, you escaped with the victory, and we go into Thanksgiving.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Yep.
I love that one. I love that one.
So let's see. We only have 5 likes. Well, let's look on here. Right now, I'm seeing 12, but there is 15 people watching on YouTube right now. So, ooh, yeah, the Macho Man climbs to the top rope, brother. Goes to the top, takes the Macho Man elbow down right across the throat of the subscribe button. Dig it, ooh, yeah. Snap into a Slim Jim. Can you hit it? Dig it, brother. Right there. Yeah,
The ending.
that guy,
The
that,
new
that guy.
ending. I love it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, shit.
The Detroit Lions are cheated men, not defeated men. In fact, the Lions have never lost to any team ever. It was all the referee's fault.
Hail to the king, baby.
My gosh. But that did work right there. I love that we could do that right there. Why don't you promote the NFL shop? Because I hate doing that.
Yeah, we don't like to sell stuff, and we're not selling anything at all. But the holidays are coming, folks. If you want to buy some gear, some NFL gear for a family member or yourself, we have a link where you could get 25% off because we've just been named as an official marketing partner, affiliate marketing partner of NFL Shop. So, Russ, did you put the link in the comments, right? Or the description, I should say.
Yeah, it should be.
Follow that link, and it's NFL Shop, 25% off by using our link. Happy holidays from the main event.
Amen to that. And we just crossed over 10,000 villains. Actually, we crossed over 11,000 villains just yesterday. And we appreciate you guys, man. We're just a bunch of talking heads. All we are fans. We're not experts. We do know some about football, but we're not like, we're not ESPN analysts or anything like that. We're just a couple of fans that really like football. And we have some friends that are also football fans from some of the rival teams and everything. We love our Viking fans. We love our Bear fans. Because really, if you're a fan of your team, I appreciate a fan. Like a fan like Bear, Bear Down Mike, who can come in here at 1-5, still talk football, not be too ass hurt. Like just come in and just enjoy being a Chicago Bear fan, no matter what. A-Dub, no matter what, you're having a bad season, he don't care. A-Dub says, man, I'm going to come in here and talk some football because I like talking football with y'all. And I appreciate those types of fans that no matter what, you're going to be there. Like Mike and I, we're going to be complete mortal enemies on Saturday, right? Right there. We're going to go in a big out. We're going to play a game. We're going to have some fun with this, right? If my team wins, he's got to wear my garb. If his team wins, then I got to wear his garb. And we do that bet every year. Last year, I was looking. He thought I looked good in all that Michigan gear, but I felt like a fish out of water. I was crying a little bit. I mean, I had some tears a little bit, and I kind of looked like that right there. There's your favorite one. Yeah, that was me last year.
You Photoshop a Michigan hat on that.
That is an actual photo of me last year, right after the football game, and I was feeling pretty bad about it. But we usually do all Lions talk. I know we got into some of the other talks, but we are playing a football game tomorrow. So this tomorrow morning's show, right at 11 o'clock on Thanksgiving, we are going to do this program, and we're going to do a preview of this game because it'll be right before kickoff. As the food's all smelling good, like Mike's going to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning. He won't be doing sprints, but he'll be up cooking all of the, he'll be cooking all the food, getting the house all smelling real nice. What? That's too early?
I've been to bed at 3 more than I've ever gotten up at 3. That's for sure. So I won't be getting up that early, but you're right. I'll be up at 5:30, 6 o'clock to put that bird in the oven.
But that is a winning mindset to do that.
Here's the thing, though. What I've been doing is 3:30 every morning. That's I get up and I do my sprints. Yeah, I mean, those are prime sprinting hours. People don't realize. And that's how I know I'm succeeding is if I'm doing my sprints while everyone else is asleep. It's a winning mindset is what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Winning mindset. It's a winning mindset if you're doing that. But, apparently, some of us football fans don't have winning mindsets because I don't know how many of you are out there and you're doing your sprints right on time at 3 a.m. Put that in the comments. Let me know if you're doing your sprints. But good morning. Good morning to all these Lions fans in here. Thank you, everybody, for watching and, being part of this program, which is NFL Talk. NFL Talk, football talk. I'll just call it football talk because we are talking about the Michigan-Ohio State game. So it is just football talk, but it is war week. Like war week has never been war week. You got the Bears versus the Bears versus the Vikings. You got the Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. And then you got the game of games. which I think is the greatest rivalry of all time. I know it's long standing, and it's within 10 games now too of the whole thing. So this has been a juggernaut matchup dating back 2 centuries. That started in the 1800s, which is crazy that they were playing football. It was before the forward pass, right? Like the forward pass was one of those things that was introduced to football, right? Do you know when that was?
I do not. I'm old, but I'm not that old.
Yeah, that's like I couldn't imagine being like it's all been all these running games, and all of a sudden someone throws like a 2-yard pass and everyone's like, oh, what did he do?
There weren't a lot of football programs, period, back then. So this shows you how old these institutions are. You know, that's how old this rivalry is, because these are 2 of the foundational pieces of college football. Hell, the Michigan helmet was the first helmet to ever have a marking on it.
And I'm just imagining all those people seeing it for the first time, to all the stuff that we take for granted, that like in today's game. One of the things that I wanted to bring up, I don't know how much more time you have left, Mike.
I got to go pretty quick.
Okay, why don't you plug the show? Because I'm going to get into another little segment right here where I'm going to talk about some of the best performances.
Okay. It's the
history.
NFC North open mic every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It will be this Monday night as well. We'll be talking about the Minnesota Vikings and Chicago Bears games. We'll have all 4 fan bases represented. It gets a little heated. It's not a safe space, so bring your thick skin. Every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, the NFC North open mic. God bless you all. Thanks, Russ. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. One Pride. This is awesome. I love having Main Event Mike on here. He is, I don't know. We started doing this thing a couple years ago, and, just being fans, we would have these conversations in the morning. We'd call each other and talk for hours. And for a couple of years, we're like, man, we should turn a recorder on and, record these conversations. And it just kind of turned into what this is. But I wanted to talk about some of the best individual performances. I found this article on, it was like NFL News, the Yard Breaker, best individual NFL performances on Thanksgiving Day. And I put a couple of the Lions ones that were up there, but 2015, Calvin Johnson, Megatron, gobbled up 8 receptions, 93 yards, 3 touchdowns in a 45-14 blowout over the Philadelphia Eagles. He was a monster in that game. I remember that game. I don't know. Do you guys remember that game on Thanksgiving? Calvin Johnson going over, and I'm trying to remember, but I think that was the team that had like Asamoah, and they had they bought the 2 badass cornerbacks in free agency, and they were going to be like the greatest team ever, but they ended up losing a bunch of the game. I think that was the year. Sterling Sharp had one. Let me look through some of these right here. They talk of Peyton Manning in 2004 is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Peyton Manning overwhelmed the makeshift Detroit Lions defense as he stomped all over us. Always a statistical marvel. 236 yards and 6, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touchdowns. Yes, the Lions in the recent history, we do not have a lot of great history. I remember Michael Vick going off on us. Oh gosh, that must have been like 05 or something like that. I remember right around the time when he was the cover on Madden, Michael Vick on Thanksgiving. What was your best Thanksgiving memory that you could think of football wise as a Detroit Lion fan, or really, how about any of the fan bases right there? Roy says Sterling Sharp had one. Did Sterling Sharp have a great Thanksgiving game. Let me see if it's on here. We got Emmitt Smith, Bob Greasy, Jarrett, Ernie Nevers, LaShawn McCoy in 2014. Tony Romo. Oh, there you go. Sterling Sharp, Green Bay Packers star receiver. Sterling Sharp is a rare loser on this list. Sharp hauled in 9 catches for 122 yards and a whopping 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdowns as the Packers suffered a heartbreaking loss in that game. Sharp's effort was not enough to catch the dub right there. But wow, really, they definitely weren't blaming Sterling Sharp for that loss the next day. I mean, I don't know what more you can do. Roy says that his best memory is Madden would give out the turkey legs. That is a good Thanksgiving memory. I love John Madden. I mean, I think he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest announcer of all time, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Donald says the Detroit Lions defense is going to eventually be wrecking teams down the stretch. We can talk about that. I am in Don's court right there. I like that. You like that? I like that call because a lot of other teams are using youth as their excuse of why they're not winning. Well, the Lions are one of the youngest teams in the NFL, and most of that defense are either a first, second, or third year player. They're all growing up together within Aaron Glenn's defense, and you can see some of the lights start to turn on with some of these players. Right? You know that Hutchinson is a stud. You know Brian Branch is a stud already. Derek Barnes having a good year. Alex Anzalone is playing at a top 10 linebacker level right now. And we wouldn't have thought that. And then you got guys, you know, Jack Campbell, Cameron Sutton's a good cornerback. You got these young guys like Kirby Joseph and Tracy Walker sitting in the back. Injured Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So the team's finding a way to win, even though they don't have their best players out there, because it's not an excuse. You know, if you're going through injury problems, that when you usually that's a depth problem. Oh, they had the injury bug. Well, every team has an injury bug, but the good teams overcome injuries. And the Lions are 8-2. And they've overcame a lot of injuries. I mean, everyone likes to go cite the worst games and say, "Oh, what are they going to do against good teams like the Baltimore?" In Baltimore, we were missing 3 offensive linemen, and Jerry Jacobs was out too. So I don't use injuries as an excuse. It's not an excuse. It could be the reason. You can lose because of injury, but it's not an excuse. Not an excuse to lose. You got to try to find ways to win games. They definitely did not win that game. You got your ass beat. You got your ass beat by the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson throwing out of his mind. Looked like he looked almost unstoppable in that game. He abused whoever they had on the opposite side of Cameron Sutton in that game. And they should. If you're a good team and you know where a team's got you all, you know, where Jerry Jacobs isn't there, right? Well, you know. You got to develop them backups. Yep. GT says you got to develop the backups. You do. But sometimes you get got. They got in that game. And but there are other games where they didn't get got. Right? 8 games that they didn't get got. We had some offensive linemen that went up. You know what? I gotta. If GT's there and he's in the comments, I can send you something, G. Let me get you in here. If you want to come in, I'll give you a little personal invite right here because I could talk to G. Because he's like one of my family members. GT, I've known for a very, very long time. He is my brother from another mother. I sent you a link, GT, if you want to come in and have a conversation. That's cool if you want to stay in the comments too. Either way, if you want to jump on. But the Lions being 8-2, I understand the criticisms, guys. Like, you got to get it done on the defensive side of the ball too. But this offense is not just a top 5 offense. This might end up being the top offense. Okay. So I'm not as worried about the defense because guys like Josh Pascal, guys like, let's say Jack Campbell, these guys are learning on the job. These guys, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this here, but like Brad Holmes, when he didn't make a trade, he was putting his faith into the development of his players by right now into the end of the season. As I bring on GT. What's up? GT.
What is happening, my brother? Happy Thanksgiving!
Oh no!
Yeah, got one of them Farmer Dude doggone millionaire pies, baby.
Now is that the happy kind?
No, this is the straight top. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is for kids and everybody.
Okay. So yeah, there's 2 different kinds of pies now when we're talking about fondue.
That's right.
And hey, if that's your thing, you can do that thing too. But but no, man, I was we got some football going on this week, dude. And I didn't know if you were planning on coming on tomorrow, so I wanted to make sure I gave you an invite.
Thank you. Thank you. We're showing the show 3 times, once, twice, 3 times a lady. We're doing 11, 4, and 7 before every game.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I may be available though, man. I'm gonna be here. Sarah,
come on,
bless her heart. She just had a granddaughter in Grand Rapids, and she's still up there taking care of her daughter. So I don't think she's gonna be home until Thanksgiving night. So I should be available.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. That'll be it. Hey, we're in the morning. My awesome wife, her and I don't want to tell you about the other parts of the situation, but she's making everything work because she's a beast, and she's gonna make it all smelling really, really nice tomorrow morning. But we're still doing this show, man. I mean, it's right. It just so happens this is the one time that Football Talk with Russell Wayne gets to actually be a pregame, right? Because we don't do the shows on Sunday. That's our family time right there. We kind of, just post off the grid a little bit, but I don't get to do pre-games a lot.
No.
So this is gonna be fun. We're gonna rep out this game, and get any last second predictions from everybody for all 3 of the games, and maybe. We probably won't rap too much about this game right here that's happening on Saturday, but we'll definitely hit that up on Friday.
Yeah.
Dedicate that because we get to be enemies one day a year, but that's all right because it's 2 versus 3, baby. It's all the marbles on the line. It's me, and it's the way that I like it. Even though we've been on the short end the last couple years, and I had to wear the garb the last couple years, but that's all right. That's all right.
Yes, we've earned it.
Because the rivalry's back.
Yes. Did you happen to see the Barry documentary yet?
I haven't yet, man. I bet I need to borrow the $14.99 to get back on Prime because I'm on Peacock and Hulu already. It's like I can only handle so many of the streaming services at once. But
killing us, boy. They're killing us. They're getting us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I rushed home last night after being up in Flint, and having to, go to Farmer Dudes and pick up a bunch of pies and, do all kind of stuff. I went to my boy Nate's house and kicked it with him and threw some darts and stuff like that up there in Flint. And I checked it out. And for me, it was a bit of underwhelming, because I basically knew in my heart why he quit, and there was a few things that I didn't truly know 100%, but I basically had the gist of why he quit. And I understood because it was kind of like the reason that I quit, and but there was some tidbits in there that blew my mind as far as free agents that Fonts wanted that the management didn't. And it will blow your mind too.
All right. Well,
yeah,
I
don't want to spoil it for nobody.
Yep. Don't be throwing no spoilers in the comments. I do want you commenting. Oh. Paul Peter says Russell's trying to be Professor Xavier. Yes, I'm going to use all my mind control, and I'm going to help the Buckeyes come home with a victory. Use all my wheelchair.
Yeah,
consider that I'm a Marvel cat, dude. You want to say I'm looking like Professor Xavier? I'll take it. Take it.
Perfect. That's perfect. Hey, you see, they just took the young brother that played Beast in the X-Men. He's now Lex Luthor in the new Superman movie. He was casted.
Which one?
When they went to the Future's Past X-Men and they showed the young Professor X and the young Cyclops, and the young Beast is now going to be Lex Luthor in Superman Legacy, the new movie.
All right. Yeah.
I think he's going to do a great job because he lost the job of Batman and Superman. So they feel like he's in the mentality to be pissed, and to be a good Lex Luthor, y'all.
Right. Hey, I've been getting into the Smallville, even though because I'd never really watched all of the Smallvilles before. So that's something that we've been my wife and I've been checking out. I think it's pretty good, man.
I liked it too. Yeah.
Did people have a problem with it?
Not that I know of. I don't think so. I think it it lasted about 7, 8, 9 seasons.
Lasted longer than that.
Yeah.
They went and went and went. No, I actually think that from as far as the Marvel versus DC type of stuff, now Marvel blew them away in the box office and all of that, right? But I think that DC holds a candle pretty well when it comes to the stuff when they put into the series, like the Bruce Wayne, where he was a kid.
Yeah.
Gotham. Yep. Incredible.
Yeah.
That was incredible. And the Smallville I thought was pretty good too. So DC, maybe they found themselves a little niche.
Yeah,
right there.
They had Marvel had to come with it after the Christopher Nolan trilogy. Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Marvel had to step up, and they did.
Good. Hey, that's what I want to see because they all good.
Yeah.
They're all good. To me, I was more of a DC cat coming up anyway. I liked more of the DC stuff. I'm a Batman guy. You know me. I'm the Wayne Enterprises.
That's
Russ
right.
Wayne Enterprises.
That's right.
That's the boring ass name of my football team every year. And actually, I'm getting jealous because Dante always comes up with the sweetest names, dude. And Hunter too. Hunter.
Yeah. One of my boys saw Hunter's fantasy name. He's like, "Oh, that is hard. That's a perfect name. That's sweet." I was like, "You've been killing it too."
Guys, I got to step up my game. I got to come up with some good names. I usually have pretty good teams.
Yeah.
This ain't my year. I got burnt for the first time on your crazy defense thing with Dante this week. Because I went in and I was like, oh yeah, man, I just got his defense. I got this dub. And then all of a sudden it's like, how the hell did he get ahead of me? And it was those return yards.
Well, Fontaine, who leads the league, he lost because of that last interception by Mahomes. Because it's like 20 points. 20 points, negative 20 points when you get an interception. So he lost by 15.
Wow. Wow. We
Yep.
play with some pretty crazy stats right there.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
man.
And then Sarah beat the number 2 team, so it's a tight second half of the season. It's gonna be tight.
Well, let's keep this conversation going. I'm going to sign everybody off right here for the first part before our Marvel ending right there. So I always like to say a blessing over your life. So if you can hear the words that are coming over my mouth and you can, I want you to receive this. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. And may the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again.
Amen.
Tomorrow morning on Thanksgiving. God bless you. Peace. So that's like that's the hard stop ending right there. So
right,
have the in the background right there. But I got the poster up right there. Look at that. I like it. I like it.
Beautiful.
So I will have tickets that I'm going to be giving away on our programs to because there's got to be a couple Tool fans that are out there that watch the Detroit Lions too.
Yeah.
So I'll throwing that out there because we're music fans too. Like Grove and I started this Toolology band back in like 2007, and we've been doing an annual show at Machine Shop. It used to be a little more than an annual show, but now we're doing an annual show. It is off the chain. I mean, if you're a Tool fan, you don't want to miss this. If you know and you've been to a Tool concert before, you don't want to miss this. You will not get a better $15 value on planet Earth with these bands that are going to be playing on there. Retooled with Monette.
Yeah.
So a female-led Tool tribute group is opening up for a Tool tribute group. So
I think that's her husband on bass or something too.
Freaking love Tool right there. There's Donald. So Donald, if you're a listener every single day, I'm going to give you some pretty sweet opportunities to win a couple tickets to this show because I do get a couple as promo that I'm allowed to do that. All right. Fred says Tool is great. You come near West Michigan and I'm there, right there. We don't do as much of the touring anymore. We'll have to see about that.
Yeah. We won't say no if the dough is right.
Yep.
And you pack the places and put us on the right day. Because last time we came to the West, we had a decent crowd, but they had the wrong date on the doggone posters, and they tell me it was packed.
Yeah.
And we weren't there. So we're a little gun shy coming to the West.
Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. We're in a different spot right now. Because we do it because we love it. We don't have to do it because we understand. We understand. We love this stuff so much that it'll rub off on you. Yeah. Because it ain't about the dough. The dough's there. But it's about that music. And we get that music. And I love to come down there.
Yeah.
I would love to.
But it takes a little bit of something to take you away from Ashton, to take you away from my little nephew, and so we this is what we do, So we just need some appreciation. That's all.
That's right. Yep. And we get that now, and it's nice that we do get that now. That we get that appreciation. because it's something that's not worried, because we know that people take care of us. We know that we are blessed.
Yes.
And we appreciate that.
Yep.
And I also appreciate the opportunity to be here in the morning and to be able to make a living being a fan of the Detroit Lions, being a fan of football. That is such a blessing. And I don't take that for granted.
Wow. Yes.
And it all started with our conversations, G. All through these years. Like the morning conversations.
That's right.
Get up in the morning, I call GT. What'd you think of that game? Oh, we got Trey Flowers.
Yep.
Oh, man, did you see Kitna?
Man, who is this guy Ebron we picked? We had that conversation too.
Oh my God. I remember where I was at. I was in my car. I was driving around. I was in Mount Morris. And you're like, they picked we were excited. We wanted Donald. We wanted Donald.
Thank you. I was just about to say, remember how pissed I was because we didn't get Donald?
We're on the clock. We're going to take Donald. Ebron?
Who the hell
is he? Let me look him up, man. I'll call you back. Let me look him up.
Wow.
He's going to be good, man. He's going to be good.
He was the first E flat. He was the first E flat. That's E flat senior.
What is your biggest and this, I'm throwing this out there to the people, if you can still hear it, got 10 people still watching on Facebook. I was talking in the background. What is your biggest moment? Like what is the big down moment in the SOL time that completely disappointed you? Was it Mike Williams? Was it Charles Rogers? Was it Joey Harrington? I mean, these epic high round draft busts.
Yeah.
Ernie Sims.
Yeah. It's so many to name, you know. The quarterback we got from Houston. That's the analyst now. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. Chuck Long, Harrington, the Calvin Johnson drop in the doggone end zone versus the Bears, the long Buffalo Bills run for the touchdown that they called a touchdown, and because Schwartz called the review and it was supposed to be automatic, they still let it go. Oh my gosh, there's so many. There's so many, Russ.
Donald said Roy Williams was a bust. I don't know about that. I mean, I guess you could call him a bust if you want to call him a bust. They ended up getting like a second round pick for him from Dallas. They raped Dallas on that one.
Yeah,
that was one of the times we got Dallas. You guys paid a second round draft pick for Roy Williams. That's all right, though.
Woo!
That's okay.
Wow. But yeah, I think we hit it on the head talking about the Ebron over Aaron Donald. That might be the all-time one. I still live that. Every time he gets a sack, I go back to that moment. You know, because we had Sue at that time, and he didn't want to be here. You know, and I was like,
we had Nick Fairley too.
Wow.
You remember Nick? We took. I think that's why they didn't take Donald.
Yeah.
Was because they did go back-to-back defensive tackles. That would have been like 3 tackles in a row. But who cares?
Right.
God.
Yeah.
A prime Sue and a prime Donald. Man, that with Stafford, I think they would have won. I think they would have won a couple titles with that. That might have been one of the biggest draft blunders of all time, because Stafford and Calvin was special together, and all they needed was a somewhat defense. And this is a different team now.
Yeah.
I think that these people that are giving us a hard time on our pass rush, I mean, maybe you're in that boat too, but I think that it's like a wait and see thing. Like, as long as they keep.
I'm not in that boat. I'm not in that boat. I believe they just need development. They, we talked
progression
about before, and I called like maybe 2-3 shows ago. I said they need a genius pass rusher to come in there and show him some moves. Now, I was looking for like a DeMarcus Ware or a Strahan type of thing. And then they went out and got my man, Irvin, you know, and I know he's going to be able to show him some more moves because you could see, you know, I see a lot of times that Hutchinson is, I don't want to use the word ego, but I think he feels like he's stronger than he actually is in positions when he's rushing and he goes right into the chest of these big old tackles. And that gives them the opportunity to hold, which the doggone officials ain't calling.
Right.
I
agree with that.
Yeah, man. So they need some more moves because as we can see, it's a bend but don't break type of situation right now. It's a very vanilla type of defense, but I think that's because of all the backups and stuff that we got, and we're juggling injuries and things like that, you know. So we shall see as we get more healthy.
Yeah, I think Irvin is an underestimated pickup.
Yep.
And from a leadership standpoint, but this guy's a freak, guys.
Yes,
like,
he is.
Even at 35 years old, this is a guy that when he ran his 40 in 2012, it was like a 4.41 40. So he may not be a 4.41 40 guy right now, but I'm sorry, you ain't gonna slow down that much. Yeah, I mean, he's still going to be able to get upfield. He's still going to be able to run down mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah. And what is the benefit for us is that 35, 36-year-old age. He is now more mature. You know, like Mike was talking a couple shows ago, how he got kicked out of the Super Bowl. He had anger problems back in the day. Now he's grown up, you know, and I'm sure he wants to leave a footprint on the NFL. And if he can show these young boys how to rush the passer with some of the moves he got and some of those bends that he's got, he will definitely leave a mark in Detroit. We will remember him for that.
Yeah, I think he's a direct correlation to the fact that James Houston was not going to be ready right at December. So, I mean, that's what, if you want to know how Bruce Irvin's going to look in this offense, just look no further. He's a 35-year-old James Houston, okay?
And James Houston injury is the most underrated doggone aspect of this year, to me.
And they still got 8 wins.
Still got 8.
I think that's being underestimated because of when people tell me how we're going to lose just because of our defense in the playoffs, and it's just like, it's going to be a different team by the time the playoffs run around. I mean,
yeah,
you'll have accustomed Irvin. You'll have Chauncey, CD Deuce will be back. James Houston will be back by that time. So these are 3 really big, high impact players that, I mean, we could just brush that. That ain't going to help. Right. That's not going to help our defense at all. 2 pass rushers and a stud defensive back. That's not going to help us. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely put a spin, you know, like old Fonte's Dr. Spin character. I put a spin on the Lion season on the show tomorrow, you know, because I feel like spiritually we're being trained as fans to finish, to stick with our guys to the end. We have seen it in the last 2 games. We are winning games that the old Lions weren't winning, you know, and it feels like we're being trained to stick by our guys, to maintain the hope, you know, and I like it. I like it.
Hail to the king, baby.
Teams, we want to dominate, but the whole point, get the W.
Like, I know that getting your ass kicked by the Baltimore Ravens. I was at that game. I know, again, that's demoralizing, but it's 1 loss. Like, no matter how bad that loss was, it was 1 loss.
Yep.
And we whooped up on a couple of teams, like 4 teams. They all counted as W's, right? Yep. Well, we barely beat the Chicago Bears. You guys should be ashamed of yourself. No, I'm not. Because that W is a 1, just like the blowouts were a 1. So it don't matter. It shows up in that W column And that's it. That's all you got to worry about.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Now, the other problems, Dan Campbell, when they went to the drawing board this week, I'm sure that they put a test out to the offense. And yes, and it was the offense that didn't show up, okay, guys? You got to look at that. Like, don't blame the defense when the defense, like you're still mad about the Chargers. Stop.
Right.
They possessed the ball for 40 minutes, and the Lions held them to 26 points.
Yeah.
Okay? 160 yards passing. It's not good. For them to possess the ball 2/3 of the game and only have 26 points. It's good. That's good defense.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You gave up an opening drive and one bomb. Outside of that, what was their offense?
And they gave up 3 points for each of the last 2 interceptions. That's defense.
Right. And the offense put the defense in the most awful situations that they can put them in.
Sure did.
Turning the ball over on their side of the field.
Sure
and they
did.
held them. They held them.
Yeah.
So this week, the defense carried the offense. The previous week, the offense carried the defense. Then you have 5 blowouts, and then you got blown out, and you lost 1 close game.
Yeah. Sounds like balance to me.
Sounds to me like they find ways to win.
That's right. That's right. I'm sorry, my brother. I gotta go, man. I gotta call this doggone wedding cat.
There you go. Call that wedding cat. I was about ready to sign these guys off anyway.
Okay.
Take it easy, brother. I will see you tomorrow. God bless you.
See you tomorrow, man. Love you, bro.
Yep. Peace.
Peace, baby.
That's Grove Teague. Grove, GT Teague, the 4th from And We Know Sports. They're going to be broadcasting 3 times tomorrow. It's good things. All good things. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys out there. Really. Take this time, spend some time with your family. Because here on this show, we preach faith, family, football. And Mike added food to that because that's where we're going into tomorrow. Thanksgiving. That's what it's about. Getting family together. Use football. Use it to help bring the family together, to spend more time. Don't get so ass hurt over the game that it ruins your night, no matter who you root for. If you're a Green Bay Packer fan, God bless you. I don't wish bad upon your family or anything like that. I hope your team gets curb stomped tomorrow, but that's all right. That's the spirit of it. It's the spirit of being a football fan, right? Love your team. Love your team, and don't apologize for whatever. You want to feel good about the Lions being 8-2? Do that. You should. You should feel good.
There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious.
And how good could Jared Goff feel now? He should feel great right now because he had his worst game of the season. And he was able to overcome and get a victory anyway. They get it done. They get it done. Use football. Don't let football use you. Don't be a dick. Watch the game. Eat some good food. Faith, family, food, football. Happy Thanksgiving.
I say more dumb things before 9 a.m. than most people say all day.
I fart in your general direction. Your mouth.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick.
It's not fair. They were so happy. It's not gonna be okay.
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifati Malafanu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.